family adventure.
And we're here to talk today about all of the gear that we're going to be carrying on our upcoming 2019 Pacific Crest Trail hike. We are hiking the entire Pacific Crest Trail. We start in about 2 weeks.
The Pacific Crest Trail is 2,658 miles long. The highest elevation is just over 13,600 feet, and the lowest is 105 feet.
Today we're going to be talking about our packs, what we've got in them, and how we're organizing all of our equipment for this journey. Inside our packs, our base weight right now is about 17 pounds. Now that's no food and no water. It's just all of our equipment. So we're going to get everything unpacked from our packs, and then we'll go through it one piece at a time. So this is all of the gear that we fit into our packs. I'm going with the ULA Catalyst for a backpack. We're both carrying the Nemo one-person tent. We've both got Revelation 10-degree down quilt. For my sleeping pad, I'm using the Thermarest Neo Air. Here in the middle, we've got, in the red bag, is our cook set, titanium cups and titanium stove. The white bag is actually our bear-proof food sack. It's a sack made by a company called Sack. It's supposed to be bear-proof as well as mouse-proof. In the blue bag here, we've got all of our extra clothing. Basically, we're taking one set of clothing, and that's the clothing we wear, and then extra socks, underwear, and miscellaneous parts. The yellow is my rain jacket. My rain pants are in with my miscellaneous.
Right here we have our water bags. So the orange water bag right here is our dirty water. We will use it so that we can filter it into the blue water bladder right here, so that's our clean water. We have 2 smart water bottles. We're probably going to be carrying another one so that we have a bunch of water. We're going to be carrying
8 liters of water total.
Okay. We have a Sawyer water filter. We'll be using this, and we can just attach it onto the water bottles so that we can get clean water, so that we're not drinking dirty water. Right here we have a Garmin inReach, so it's like a GPS, and then you can also message and talk to people. I have a Garmin inReach Mini that I'll be using. It can connect Bluetooth to your phone. We have maps, and we have
maps and permits.
Maps and permits right here. We have a black diamond headlamp right here. And then we have battery pack, chargers, wall plug-ins, everything right here. We have a compass. We have a first aid kit, and then we have toiletries, which is a roll of toilet paper without the cardboard. We have wipes, and then we have a small ultralight shovel and some hand sanitizer. Then we have trekking poles right here.
So, first thing we'll do, we'll break all of this out and we'll go through it piece by piece. The first thing we're going to discuss is the big 3. The big 3 is your sleep system, your tent, and your backpack. Alright, so big 3. We're starting off, we've got the backpack, tent, and the sleep system. Backpack, again, like I said, I'm using the ULA, their Catalyst. I went with this one after I went with 3 different backpacks, a Mountain Smith, a Gregory, and a Granite Gear. I settled on this one because it's got great hip support, it's got decent padding in the back, but it was these S straps. Since I'm not a skinny guy, I needed a little more width in the shoulder straps to go around my shoulders and my neck and everything. So I really love this pack. It's been working out really well for me. I've taken it on about 100 miles total on the treadmill, wearing it fully loaded, and it seems to be working out great. We've also added a extra pocket on the outside, this pouch on one of the shoulder straps that'll hold my GPS and my phone for me. The nice part is it's a roll down top. It's just stuff everything in and go. Our tents, these are the Nemo Hornet. It's a one-person tent, two-wall. It's what they call semi-freestanding, which means that once you anchor in the poles that it will sit there, but we really need to be able to anchor it down to be able to get the full width. So it only anchors in 3 spots, whereas you need to actually stake it out to get the full volume inside. We went with a two-wall tent because I tend to sleep pretty hot and tend to sweat a lot, and the last thing I wanted was a bunch of condensation inside the tent. So we went with the exact same tent for both of us, so there's a little redundancy there. If a part breaks, maybe I've got a part to fix it, or if I break something of mine, she can help me fix it. And then we also have in here, we have the footprint for it. So we'll be using that all the time, especially through the desert section. The last thing we want are sharp pokies poking a hole through the bottom. This comes in right at about 42 ounces total.
So we both are carrying a sleeping quilt by a company called Revelation. It's a 10-degree sleeping quilt. It is like a blanket pretty much, but you can strap the sides down on your sleeping pad, and it has an open bottom, and it has a foot box that's open bottom. Now, is it Neo? Mm-hmm. Neo Thermarest for...
It's the Thermarest Neo Light Air, yes.
It's a Thermarest Neo Light Air sleeping pad for my dad. I have a different one, but this is because his old bones need something better than what I have.
So the sleeping pad comes in at about 14 ounces, and the quilts come in at 28 ounces. So we're doing really good, nice and lightweight. The quilts are down. It's 850 hydrophobic down, so hopefully they will help remain dry because the down won't absorb any of the water. So that's again one of our biggest concerns. So the stove I'll be using is a BRS-1. It's a titanium stove. They make them in China, but a couple of people have had some great success with them over the last 2 years, using this on both the Pacific Crest Trail and on the Continental Divide Trail. The stove itself weighs 0.9 ounces. It's less than an ounce. So that works out beautifully. The gas is 7.4 ounces for a grand total of about 8.5 or 8.4 ounces, and then it's 1 ounce for this foot pedestal that attaches onto it. My luxury item, or one of my luxury items, is my cup. I gotta have my tea in the morning, so I opted to go with a collapsible silicone cup. It's about 3 ounces. It's one of my luxury items. It's just one of those things that it's worth it to me to be able to eat my breakfast and drink my tea at the same time. Everything fits into all of this, nestles nicely into the titanium pot, and then all of that will fit into the bag. And for fire starting, we're going with standard old Bic lighter. These are about a half an ounce, and they're readily replaceable anywhere we go. So the Ursack will hold about 7 days worth of food, and since we're required to have a bare container in some areas, we'll be swapping that out for a hard, rigid bare container. But for most of the trail, this is what we're going to be carrying because it's mouse proof and it's bear proof.
So for breakfast, we'll mostly be eating oatmeal because it's easy, it's quick to make, and you can just make it in your cup, and it's instant oatmeal, so it's just, you make it and then you can pack up and go on the trail really quickly.
Some of the times we'll even just be pouring the water directly into those pouches, because the last thing you want to do is have to scrape oatmeal out of your cup.
That's not a good thing. So for lunch, most of the time we'll be having ramen, or we might just go with just a bunch of snacks like granola bars. or we might just have some olives, because we've got dried olives. We don't have them here right this minute, but we have them in a hiking box that we keep our food. For dinner, we'll be having a nice big dinner. We'll be doing like backpacker's pantry. We also have some mountain house meals, and we also have like rice sides. We have some instant mashed potatoes, which will be good for sometimes because we want to change it up, not just continuously have the same thing every night, or else we will get sick of it and never want to have it again.
True story. Alright, so for our clothing, we'll both be wearing our Ultra shoes and Darn Tough socks. And then we do have one extra pair of socks with us. We'll both be wearing nylon pants. These are convertible pants so that we can convert them into shorts if we need to. And a Polypro shirt. That'll be our basic outfit every single day. You'll notice there's no duplicates of it in here because this is it. We have what we're wearing, and that's what we'll be wearing for the next 5 months. 2,658 miles.
Like 5 months.
One of the things that we'll be using to help keep crap out of our shoes is a set of gaiters. These small gaiters actually latch onto our shoes and help keep our socks a little cleaner and help keep debris out of our shoes. Because we're doing quite a bit in the desert, and there's a whole section, about 700 miles are in the desert, and we're from the Pacific Northwest. We're not used to all that bright sun, so we do have sun gloves. These will help keep the backs of our hands and our fingers from getting sunburned. The nights in the desert do get cold, and since this is a heavy snow year in the Sierras, we do have a pair of polypropylene glove liners. We'll be using those. The bugs, they're bad everywhere we go, so one of the things that we're definitely going to be carrying is our head net. Because when we're in the desert, the sun tends to be pretty intense, we both have got Columbia lightweight long sleeve shirts, and these will be with us 100% of the time, and it'll act as also one of our base layers when we get into the colder sections. I've got a wool beanie that I'll be taking with me, and that's the basic clothing. Here we've also got a set of Patagonia rain pants. These have got a full zipper all the way up the side, make it a whole lot easier to get in and out. And then my REI Gore-Tex rain jacket. Neither of these is ultralight. The reason I went with the little bit heavier garments is because I tend to be very tough on my clothes, and I tend to fall down a lot. So I wanted something that was going to be able to hold up should it get kicked, dropped, stepped on, or fallen in. We went with Darn Tough socks only because Darn Tough are made out of merino wool, so they don't stink as much. They're antimicrobial. The other thing is Darn Tough socks, their company, they're out of Vermont. They're still kind of a mom and pop operation, and they have a lifetime guarantee. So if we wear these socks out on the trail, we can pop into any sporting goods store or shoe store that's got them and actually swap them out for another pair for free.
So we've got a sun hat. It is called the Shape Flexor. It's by a company, and you can actually zip off the top, and you can also, it's got,
Size.
You can size it to fit in case you want it to fit your head shape, just so that it's on securely. It has a chin strap so that you can keep it on in case the wind is blowing really hard, and it's got a nice cord so that you can just shape it to whatever you need. For us, we're probably going to have the back up so it doesn't hit the back of our packs. And in case I'm wearing a ponytail, I can actually just take off the back, or I can zip off the top so that my ponytail doesn't get caught in the hat.
Hold on. And then the last thing is...
Oh, yeah. It's also got a neck cover so that it also has a cover for the sun so that the back of our neck doesn't get sunburned, because that is not a happy day when that happens. We also have a cheap Amazon buff that you can find it on Amazon. We also have a 750 down jacket by Mountain Hardwear for those cold desert nights and for up in the Sierras, because it's going to be really cold up there. And also, in case down in the desert it gets really cold during the day, because they're having a really they have a snowy year this year. It's going to be a lot of snow down there, so just in case it gets really cold, then we have this.
It may not seem like a big topic, but the underwear that you're wearing is actually really important. Because you're moving all day long, any seams that your underwear has is a potential point where it's going to chafe. I learned this with some other pairs that I had tried and had some chafing in some really, really uncomfortable places. Everything gets packed into a Sea to Summit dry bag, and this gets stuffed down into the pack. Okay, so this is all of our accessory gear. Things like our trekking poles. I'm using a pair of leaky trekking poles with cork handles. Again, all of our maps and permits. This is important because you are required to have your permits when you hike the PCT. This is the electronics bag. I've got a 20 amp hour Anchor battery pack in there, along with my 2 amp charger. It's an iPad charger, and then all of our cords, and you'll notice everything's marked, everything's labeled, so hopefully you can keep it sorted. One of the important things is you've got a headlamp. This headlamp has got a red lens in it as well. The red lens is going to really help, especially when we're hiking at night and we come into camp. You don't want a nice bright headlamp waking everybody up. It tends to upset your hiking partners. A compass and the GPS. The GPS is the Garmin InReach. The reason that we love this and went with this is because it's not only a color map, it's not only a GPS, but it's also got the SOS function, and it's got it works off of the Iridium system, so I can actually pair it with my phone, even in airplane mode. I just open Bluetooth, and I can send text and receive text messages. Can't send pictures or video, but I can send all the text messages I want, and I can get responses. So that makes it really nice with keeping in touch with family. And since it works on a satellite system, I don't have to worry about having cell service. Compass. If I'm going to be carrying maps, I better be carrying a compass because electronics have a tendency to fail. So this is my handy dandy Silva Ranger compass. I've been using this particular compass since about 2002, back when I was doing search and rescue with Silver Star. A small hand towel. Take this along just to be able to clean up a little bit. That's really important, seeing how you're going, 7 to 10 days between showers. Hygiene's going to be a big deal. Same with the Purell and our toiletry bag. We do have wet wipes. Those are going to be used both for cleaning up armpits, legs after the end of the day that are covered in dust and dirt, as well as nether regions. And then the first aid kit. Now this is a big one for me. Being a paramedic, this was tough for me to let go of my big trauma kit. And you can see this kit is roughly the size of my hand, and is about the thickness of my hand. In here I've basically got Band-Aids, I've got some KT tape, I've got some moleskin, we've got Zantac and Imodium, I've got a small tent repair kit, an extra set of shoelaces, that is a tube of toothpaste, some antibiotic cream, and the orange is actually a toothbrush that's been cut down, because yes, we cut it down. Some steri strips and a spool of waxed floss, and then inside of this tent repair kit is a sewing needle, so that if I have to repair some of our kit, we've got everything. So this whole thing weighs about 3 ounces, and I've been told, there's a safety pin in there too, I've been told that this is overkill. But being a paramedic and having spent, almost 10 years with search and rescue, I couldn't let go of a little bit larger first aid kit. So one of my sacrifices I'm making. And then our water bladders and our water filter. Like we said earlier, we'll be carrying a grand total of about 8 liters capacity. However, we won't be always carrying 8 liters. Normally what we'll be carrying is probably 4 to 5 until we get into the probably up into the Cascade Mountains, northern Oregon, Washington area where water's a whole lot more prevalent, especially this year, we hope. But again, the Sawyer water filter, we've had great reports. People have been using it for years. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than the Mini, but it's got a better flow rate. And the only thing we have to do is make sure it doesn't freeze. So this is all the extras. This miscellaneous stuff, oh, forgot my sunglasses. Natives, we went with Natives. They're polarized lenses. They've got nice wide arms, so it'll block some of the sun. That's going to be important when we get into the Sierra Mountains. We really don't want to have snow blindness. That would suck. And then this is my wallet. In it, we'll probably carry 1 or 2 credit cards. And then all of our ID. We'll have to carry our passport ID cards as well as our driver's license or ID cards. So when we get to Canada, we can get back into the U.S. And then maybe a couple hundred in cash, but that's about it. So this is all the extraneous stuff that we're carrying. Most of this will fit into just pockets or get crammed into someplace else. Things like your first aid kit and the toiletries, obviously you want to keep those in a pocket that's going to be readily accessible, because if you've got to go, you've got to go.
This is what we'll be carrying for the whole of PCT. We will have another video where we go into more detail about stuff that we'll be carrying in Kennedy Meadows and the Sierras, so that we can add it on to what we have here. We hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching our family adventures. Bye!
Bye.